embers of a dynasty been reignited. We react to a huge Warriors road win over the Boston Celtics. Plus, the already shorthanded 76ers, they have been dealt another injury blow. Shams is here with the latest on Tyrese Maxey. And a frustrated JJ Redick reacts to the Lakers' fourth loss in the last 5 games. We'll tell you what he said and if Perk thinks it's time to panic. NBA Today starts right now. If you are a Hoops fan and this wasn't what your TV screen looked like last night, my friends, you were missing out. We had undefeated streaks extended and snapped, nail-biting finishes, game winners, and so much more. There was some great action around the association, and we're going to get to it all over the next hour alongside Shanae Agumake, who got the little outfit memo, yep. Brian Windhurst, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malika Andrews. What do you say we start our show in Boston
Yes,
today?
fireworks.
We all had this one circled. Steph Curry and the Warriors, or should I say Steve Kerr and the Warriors,
here we go.
facing Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics here. I say Steve Kerr because, Shanae, as we head to TD Garden, you can see Steve taking the floor. Take a listen to what it sounded like when he was announced in starting lineups.
The head coach of the Golden State Warriors is Steve Kerr.
I didn't know head coaches get that type of announcement. They know they so petty.
That is the definition of unbothered right there.
And then courtside,
wow.
everyone is making sure Steve Kerr knows everywhere. The energy here. But Buddy Hield has been off to just a electric start here for the Golden State Warriors. He has the most threes through the first 8 games with any franchise in NBA history.
It's kind of crazy to say that he's out shooting right now per game at 4 than Steph Curry.
That is
from
crazy.
3.
But Jason Tatum's jumper, it is looking good, Brian. And Steve Kerr calls timeout.
And this is not the player that was there in July and August. Let's just be honest.
And look at Steve Kerr holding Steph accountable because that was a horrible show. Yes.
Well, Curry hits a nice 3 here.
Makeup.
Falls to the ground. Under a minute left in the half. Curry gets the steal, dribbles down to the other end, looking, and then finds Moses Moody there. This doesn't happen very often. Golden State led by 11 at the half and trailing by double digits. It's not a familiar spot for Boston. They really, though, Brian, turned it on in the third quarter here. Peyton Pritchard dropping his defender, kicking it out to Tatum for the 3.
What they do, they hit the threes. They were a little bit slow in the first half. Second half got really cooking.
But usually, Shanae, this is where you think, okay, the Boston Celtics are going to be getting back into control. The Warriors, they held their ground.
Look, this game, I know we're seeing a lot of great offensive plays, but really was won by defense.
Absolutely. So here, I want you to take a listen to Tatum just downplaying the importance of this game. Here's what he said.
My entire career, people want me to be, loud, or people want me to be mean or whatever. One thing about Jason is, I'm always going to do what the I want to do.
All right, so he's going to do what he wants to do. The Celtics, they scored 41 points in the third quarter after only scoring 40 in the entire first half here. Peyton Pritchard with the 3. And all of this, Perk, sets up for an excellent finish. So under 7 to play, the Celtics up by 4. Derek White here has the ball. Boston now up by 7.
I mean, Derek White playing at an all-star caliber level, averaging 20 points this season?
You got to guard that man.
He was already turning back as soon as it left his hand.
Hey.
Golden State clawing their way back here, down by 1. Curry, nice little cut inside, gets that one to go as well. And all of a sudden, Golden State finds themselves back on top here, trying to create this separation. Shanae, Curry.
Man, that was a tough finish. What I love about Steph Curry, he has not settled for threes. He attacks the paint. That float game was nice.
And when he is doing that, and there's so much attention that's drawn to him,
boom,
he can kick it back out
more
to Buddy Hield for the 3. Yes, more on this coming up in just a minute. Curry, Hield, they're loving it. The Warriors, they go into Boston to get the win. Here's Steve Kerr after the game.
Boston was, without Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, so this is not their best version of their team, but they're still damn good. So it's a hell of a win in a tough environment, and we had some guys out too. And again, I love our depth. I think we're built to withstand absences. We get a lot of guys who can come in and play big minutes for us and help us win games like these. So obviously a good win for us.
So the Warriors have now opened 5-0 on the road for just the second time in franchise history. The other time they did this, that's the year they went on to win an NBA record 73 games. But Sinead, that team looked a whole lot different than this one. But maybe, is there a new Splash relative in town?
We're going to have to find a name for him, but we talked about this game as a test for both teams, but especially Golden State, to really see what this gut check could potentially be. And they absolutely handled this test. And what I love about this, y'all, is how they handled the dagger, the crunch time. So first, yeah, we're going to figure out a name for Steph and Buddy Hield, but as I break down the dagger, because this is a team that is #1 in the NBA in bench points, you'll see exactly why, especially in clutch time. So first, I want to show you this. It's time and score. It's 108-104, 2-possession game, 1 minute left. So every possession matters. As this play progresses, first, I want to show you the two guys. One, it's Steph Curry handling the ball. Then it's Buddy Hield off the right wing. So what Steph is doing right here is he's probing. He wants to force a switch, and he gets it. What is a switch right here? It's him versus Al Horford. Yep, he knows he can blow by him. So as Steph attacks, watch, Al Horford gets beat. This is where we enter the danger zone. How many players are watching? 1, 2, 3 Boston Celtics, none more costly than one Jason Tatum, who is caught asleep. He is sleeping, watching Steph Curry, and this is costly because here, look at Buddy Hield. What he's going to do is, typically when you have guards and you're moving on the perimeter, when I move, you move. Just like that, you're attached on a string. So what he will do is he's going to drift over as Steph attacks towards him to the right corner, and look how much space is available for him to operate. This man is a 51% three-point shooter, and guess what? That's all they wrote. There's the drift. Jason Tatum caught asleep. Easy bucket. Tough contest by Derek White, but nonetheless, it did not matter. And that was just 3 points out of 25. The Golden State Warriors, they scored 25 points in clutch time, their most in a regulation game in the Steve Kerr era. So that is truly, I know we hear it a lot, but by definition, that is strength in numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we talked, as you said, about this being a litmus test game, and the question heading into this one in NBA Countdown, Perk, was can they hang? Can the Golden State Warriors hang? They certainly did that. What did you learn about this team?
Well, what I took away from last night was, one, I was right. That's the most important thing ever, right? I was right. I was the only one that picked the Golden State Warriors.
Here, Perk.
And damn it, they went out there and did.
Well done. There you go.
By Steph Curry. Okay, but their defense. And, you know, I eavesdrop on my wife Vanity every now and then on her phone calls, and she be using terms like, you know, when she talking to her partners, like, baby or honey. Listen, this defense was so refreshing. I'm telling you, watching the Golden State Warriors, the way that they pick up 94 feet, they get physical, communicating on the switches from Moses Moody to Andrew Wiggins to Jonathan Kuminga. They are ferocious defensively. And look, they did an outstanding job last night without Pajimski.
Yep.
I mean, this team is real. And look, I would not be surprised if this team make it to the Western Conference Finals. I would not be surprised at all.
So here's what's so fascinating about this. Steve Kerr is using an Olympic-style game plan because the way the Americans play in the Olympics, they lean into the depth. They will do mass substitutions, and the reason they do that is so that their players can pour out energy on the defensive end. Steve Kerr is using 12 or 13 guys a night. He's averaging 7 different guys, averaging 12 to 20 minutes. They pour it out on the defensive end. They put on 27 double teams in this game. That requires a lot of activity level. So the guys go out there, they crush it on defense. And look, Steve Kerr said, Jaylen Brown wasn't here, Porzingis wasn't here. It's easier to double when you don't have those two options. It's easier to go at the basket when you don't have Porzingis. But it's actually Steve Kerr taking his Olympic experience, applying it to this team, and it's working.
Well, belief is a powerful thing, Mr. Winhorst. So now this Golden State Warriors team off to a 7-1 start, 5-0 on the road. That's a very different tune than we've saying about this team as a road team the last couple of years. Having that we believe mentality for Golden State could be dangerous for the rest of the league. Let's go to a developing story here on NBA Today. Tyrese Maxey, he did not play in the fourth quarter of the Sixers game against the Clippers last night. He left the game with
Stephen Curry's stunning performance in the Warriors' victory was due to an often overlooked element. Steph returned to his best form against the Celtics. Less than 2 weeks ago, Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry left the court limping and headed straight to the locker room during the fourth quarter against the LA Clippers. There was collective concern after that game. Not only had the Warriors suffered their first loss of the season in their home opener, but there were also fears for Curry, who had twisted his ankle twice in the second half. Fast forward to now, and things couldn't be better for Golden State. Since then, they've won 5 straight games, the latest led by a brilliant Curry performance in a statement win over the reigning champion Boston Celtics on Wednesday. Stephen Curry's conditioning is an often underestimated element of the Warriors' star's game. In his second game back after a 3-game absence, Curry scored 27 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and handed out 9 assists on 8-for-17 shooting from the field and 4-for-9 from three-point range. The two-time MVP scored 10 points, pulled down 2 rebounds, dished out 2 assists, recorded a steal, and blocked a shot in the final 8 minutes, helping his team finish with a 30-17 run to overturn a 7-point deficit and win by 6 points. Curry was so good, it's hard to believe that the injury against the Clippers happened just 10 days ago. At the time, there was concern that the 36-year-old might miss several weeks, especially given his history of ankle issues. Perhaps this worked in his favor, combined with his often underestimated physical conditioning, to ensure that his absence was not only brief, but that he barely missed a beat upon returning. Curry had a minutes restriction against the Washington Wizards on Monday, playing 24 minutes, during which he scored a game-high 24 points, along with 3 rebounds and 6 assists in the 125-112 victory. This minutes restriction was immediately lifted against the Celtics, with Curry playing over 30 for minutes 3 more than any teammate. This proved even more crucial as backup guard Brandon Podziemski was out due to illness after leaving Monday's game during the third quarter. Although we shouldn't be surprised after all these years, Curry's ability to defy physical concerns is an underrated aspect of his excellence. While others in their early 30s see a sharp decline in physical capabilities and overall performance, all-time greats like Curry and LeBron James continue to rewrite what's possible in defying father time.